Mike Bohn here at RVCA Training Center with Aaron Pico, and Aaron just kind of stumbled across you here. You were doing a photo shoot and everything. Yeah. Is this just sponsor work, the kind of stuff we see you guys do behind the scenes?
Yeah, I'm here at the RVCA headquarters, and they're my family. I've been with RVCA for a long time, and just getting some shots and getting some new gear. And every time I'm in town, because I live in Albuquerque, I always stop by, say hello to the family here, and yeah, it's always good times here for sure.
Yeah, it looks like you're obviously training hard and everything. How are you doing health-wise? Obviously, last time we saw you in this area, it wasn't too far away, just down the street where you suffered the injury. Yeah. So how's recovery been? How are you doing now?
Recovery went really well. Like I said, the shoulder, I had surgery in October, and I rehabbed the crap out of it, and now I'm fully cleared to fight. So they're working on a fight for me. I'm looking to fight in April, so it's about 8 weeks away. But during this time, I took about a month off to let my shoulder heal, and then I was right into rehab. And I think I got in better shape taking some time off because I go so hard in training, and I think my body just needed a break. But now I'm back, and I'm so excited to fight in April. So.
How frustrating was what happened in that fight? Obviously, things were going pretty good, and something like that happens, a bit of a freak injury. Like when you look back at that, I'm sure it doesn't feel like a real loss or anything.
No, I don't feel like I lost, and I think, on paper, yeah, of course, but I think the fans saw and the organization. It didn't even bump me in the rankings or anything like that. We all know. But I think Kennedy, handled it like a true professional. He wasn't being like, oh, I won. It is what it is, a freak accident, and it was just unfortunate. The first 30 seconds, the shoulder was out, But I'm really proud of myself, to be honest with you. My back defense is really good. He wasn't able to submit me. I saw an interview somewhere. He's like, I just needed more time. But he had 4 minutes and 30 seconds to try to submit me, and he couldn't, So hey, my defense is when I look at the fight, I say, man, I'm really proud of myself for defending my neck, and I think against another guy, maybe I would have gotten ground and pounded hard, but luckily I was able to minimize the damage and walk away with just the shoulder injury rather than an orbital and cuts and things like that. So I try to look at the positive, and I know what it's like to be like that in the fight, and I know that I'm able to handle the pressure and protect myself, so it was good.
What did they tell you about the recovery after a surgery like that? Because the shoulder is one of those weird things, right? We've seen people who've had multiple surgeries but still pop out at the most inopportune of times. So what did they tell you, and how do you rebuild confidence in it?
Well, I saw one of the best shoulder surgeons there is in America, Dr. Kramer, Warren Kramer in Newport Beach, just right down the road from here. And people were asking me oh, what did he do, or what surgery? And I just went into the office. I said, listen, you have my MRI. I don't know the terminology, but just make sure I'm healed and I can fight. And after the surgery, he just said that they have 8 brackets in my shoulder, so the chances of it coming out are very slim. And it's strong. I feel stronger now than I did back then. I was having some issues before the fight with the shoulder, but it wasn't like it came out one time, but I just thought it was kind of normal. And then the whole training camp for 3 months, it never came out, and then it decided in the first 30 seconds to just pop out. The timing was just horrible. But back to your question, the shoulder feels stronger than it was before. So God willing, it doesn't come out. Knock on wood. Yeah.
So you mentioned fight could be 6 weeks or 8 weeks away, so I don't want to pry you for the opponent unless you can, unless you're able to share. But is it a fight you feel that you mentioned you didn't get bounced back in the rankings? Are you kind of on the track of where you would have been if that fight had gone your way? You feel?
Yeah, like I said, I think Carvalho and Kennedy are fighting and this weekend, so I don't think one of them are going to be ready to fight in April. But like I said, I can fight Adam Borks, Mads Burnell, Henry Corrales, anybody. Honestly, I'll fight anybody. We'll see. But I'm looking to fight in April. So that's what they're telling me. I'm going to fight in April, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, do you think maybe the title shot after that? Because, AJ's gone from the division. It seems like he's going to be doing this Grand Prix for a while. Obviously, Patricio's beat, pretty much everyone else at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I think the title shot will come when it comes. I think the most important thing right now is the most important thing is the next fight and then the next fight. And then after that, if it's, the next fight is a title shot, then we'll go from there. I'm really, like I said, I want to go and win. And we'll see what Pitbull, because I hear rumors of him going down. I think maybe that's what I've heard. I think was that after his last fight, he said that he was going to go down to 135. So I don't know. The most important thing that I can do is win my next fight and let the chips fall where they fall. But I know when I get the phone call to fight for a world championship, I'm going to be ready. So.
Sure. And speaking of world championships, one of your teammates, Jon Jones, is a few days away at this point of returning. Bo Nickal's on this card as well. Like, are you gonna take your time to make sure you're watching that event, or are you maybe gonna go to Vegas to see those guys?
I wish I could go to Vegas to watch, but you know what? To be honest with you, I prefer to watch the fights at my house. I always have a barbecue, and we invite a few friends over and we watch them. So, but I'm excited for Jon and Bo Nickal. Jon is looking in great shape and looking good on the pads, and Greg Jackson and Brandon Gibson say he's inspiring. He's an animal, and I know he's brought a lot of training partners down, some big heavyweights, Walt Harris, Jorgen De Castro, and then there's another young guy that they brought in who's a heavyweight from Portugal as well, who I hear is a beast. He's a young kid. He's a good heavyweight. So he's got a good group of guys, a solid training camp, and I'm excited for him to go win the world championship. It's gonna be a good night. And Bo Nickal to make his UFC debut, correct? Yeah, UFC debut on one of the biggest cards of the year. I couldn't be more prouder. I was on 3 world teams with him, so like I said, I know him very well, and I'm hoping that he goes out there and does what he's supposed to, which I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah. How do you think Jon will be able to win this one? Obviously, a lot of people point to use the wrestling. We saw Cyril Gane struggle against Ngannou, but I'm sure he knows that's coming as well. So it'd be silly if he hadn't worked diligently on that too.
Yeah, I think Jon Jones is one of the best strikers in all of MMA. I think a lot of people, not a lot of people forget that. Everybody knows that. So Cyril Gane is a good striker, and so is Jon Jones. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. But I think if push comes to shove and Jon needs to take him down, I think he has that in him to use that. But we can't forget that Jon Jones is one of the deadliest strikers that we've ever seen in MMA. I think he's the greatest of all time, and can never count him out in a fight. So I'm so excited, I really am. But it's a tough task for the team, but they're ready. They've put in the work. So
yeah, it's interesting because Jon, the one thing I think maybe you could criticize is he didn't have that one punch KO power at light heavyweight. He tweeted out the other day that he feels he has that heavyweight, and if that's the case, that'd be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I think he packed on some pounds, and the thing about MMA, because I know all it takes is one shot and you can go out. So especially at heavyweight, I don't think it's power is a factor there. But you've seen what he's done with the head kicks with doing DC. I'm going on and on and on. He's the greatest of all time, and then whenever he fights, something as crazy is going to happen. So we'll see. I'm praying he wins.
Yeah, for sure. And just last thing, what do you want this year to look like? Perfect world, you fight in April. How many more fights would you like to have? Where do you feel you'd like to be at the end of 2023?
I would like to be a world champion at the end of 2023. I feel I'm ready. I have a new shoulder. I'm just knocking on the door to be a champion, and I think when it's all said and done this year, I'll have the Bellator belt wrapped around my waist.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate the time. Glad to see you back healthy and everything, and we'll look forward to seeing you in there.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.